This is shuttle launch control at T-minus 3 hours and holding. We are in the final hours of the STS-39 launch countdown at this time. The 7-member flight crew for mission STS-39 has been awake now for about 20 minutes. They will soon be eating breakfast. This 8-day flight has been characterized as one of the most complex missions ever undertaken by the shuttle. Payloads on board Discovery are the Air Force Program 675, the infrared background signature survey mounted on the shuttle Pallet Satellite 2, the critical ionization velocity experiment, 3 chemical release observation sub-satellites, the space test payload, and a classified payload and a multi-purpose experiment canister. Got the STS-39 flight crew having breakfast now in the operations and checkout building. Mission Specialist Don McMonigal will be making his first trip into space. There's Mission Specialist Guy Bluford. He'll be flying for the 3rd time today. He's pilot Blaine Hammond. He'll be making his first flight into space today. Michael Coates commanding this flight. This will be his 3rd flight into space. Mission Specialist Greg Harbaugh, flying for the first time. Mission Specialist Rick Heeb and Charles Lacey Veach. They'll both be making their first trip into space this morning. Crew has been awake now for about half an hour, at least part of the team. The other part of the team was awakened last night. We've got a 7-member crew. They'll be operating around the clock for this flight during the 8-day mission. They'll be divided into 2 teams, a red team and a blue team. And they'll be on different sleep schedules so that experiments can be conducted around the clock. Crew wears these suits during launch and re-entry. Consist of a helmet, a communications cap, the pressure garment, anti-exposure, anti-gravity suit, gloves and boots. Crew, of course, they do take these suits off during the flight. Part of the crew was being assisted getting into their launch and entry suits, while the other half of the crew was being briefed on the weather conditions. Well, we've got the flight crew departing the operations and checkout building. Just a few minutes ahead. 7 flight crew members ready to go this morning. They are taking an elevator from the 3rd floor in the operations and checkout building. This is shuttle launch control at T-minus 2 hours, 33 minutes, 50 seconds and counting. STS-39 crew members now at the White Room at Launch Pad 39A, preparing to enter into Discovery's crew cabin. At about 2 hours and 25 minutes, the sound suppression water tank at the launch pad will be topped off if necessary. This tank holds approximately 300,000 gallons of water, and it's all emptied within 20 seconds as water flows through the system onto the mobile launcher platform deck. The water is sprayed through the engine exhaust at a rate of 1 million gallons a minute. This prevents damage to the orbiter, which could be caused by the magnitude of the sound energy coming from the main engines and solid rocket boosters right at liftoff. A few moments ago, we did hear Commander Coates making checks with test conductors and flight directors. We should be hearing from pilot Blaine Hammond shortly.
RTC TTLS. Go ahead. Got 420 through 427 complete. Copy that, thank you. OTC, OVCC. Go ahead. Just heads up, that's the fourth astronaut that just went in. They copy. If Blaine Hammond ever loses his job, he can always be a comedian. All right.
Discovery's crew cabin is now being closed. Hatch is being closed for flight. All flight crew members on board the orbiter.
OTC or OVCC. Go ahead. Yeah, the hatch is closed, and we had 0.0 on the leak rate. Latch mechanisms, micro switch is continented good. Copy that. PLT OTC. Clear caution and warning memory. Verify no unexpected errors. PLT roger, inward.
Orbiter test conductors requested that pilot Hammond clear the caution and warning memory system. Retraction of the gaseous oxygen vent hood is now underway. T-minus 2 minutes, 15 seconds. At the T-minus 2 minute mark, the flight crew will be instructed to close and lock their visors for flight. T-minus 2 minutes.
Flight crew OTC. Close and lock your visors and initiate O2 flow. TLS go for ETLH2 pressurization.
T-minus 1 minute, 50 seconds. Liquid hydrogen replenishment is being terminated and the tank is being pressurized for flight.
Down, O2's on. Copy that.
Sound suppression water system now being released. T-minus 10, 9, 8. We have a go for main engine start. We have engine start. 3, 2, 1. We have ignition and liftoff of Discovery on a research flight for the Department of Defense.
Roger, roll, Discovery. Houston's now controlling. Roll maneuver is underway. Maneuver complete, placing Discovery in crew and heads down attitude and on course for a 57-degree orbit. Engines at 100% and throttling down. Engine throttles now at 70% rated thrust in order to help maintain optimum aerodynamic conditions as Discovery accelerates through the dense lower altitudes. Velocity 1,000 feet per second, altitude 200,000 feet. Correction, 24,000 feet. All systems performing well. Hydraulics, electrical systems performing well. Altitude now 33,000 feet, velocity 1,300 feet per second.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Roger, go at throttle up.
Engines running now at 104% rated thrust, altitude 56,000 feet, velocity 2,100 feet per second, downrange distance now 7 nautical miles. Time 1 minute 30 seconds. Our next milestone in this climb to orbit will be burnout and staging of the solid rocket boosters. Altitude 92,000 feet, velocity 3,200 feet per second. Discovery now 15 nautical miles downrange. Time 1 minute 50 seconds. Well.
See it? This is the way to learn geography. No kidding. See the whole world every 90 minutes. Okay, let's see after this. Next stop is Australia.
Rolly's out of film?
Yes.
Yeah.
Discovery Houston, we'd like to select cameras in the payload bay if you don't mind.
CI gas, KT.
Thanks.
And this television still from Discovery as it flies across and over Central Africa, 140 nautical miles high, with thunderstorms, very severe thunderstorms below across that continent.
Great job. We see both of you now. Hey, where's Don?
Don would be back here, but we can't get him out of the commander's seat.
Somebody's got to keep it warm.
That's just not true.
Hi there. Discovery Houston, can you verify that the payload bay lights are off?
I confirm, KT, that payload bay lights are off. We have a full moon out there, though.
Yeah, we've been looking at it reflecting off the RMS, and we're looking at the top of the atmosphere up there and a nice star field.
You should see it from here.
I wish I could.
Houston Discovery for GNC.
Good morning, Discovery. Go ahead.
All right, it feels like about noon to us. How about yourselves?
We can't tell. We're a little bit confused right now.
Payload Deployment Retrieval Systems Officer reports that Mission Specialist Greg Harbaugh now uncradling the robot arm aboard Discovery.
Houston Discovery.
Go ahead, Discovery.
Okay, Brian, I completed the RMS power-up. I'm ready to press on with the SPA's grapple, if that's okay with you all.
Greg, you got to go to press.
Okay, I'm pressing.
We're now receiving live television from the flight deck of Discovery. This showing Mission Specialist Greg Harbaugh as he works the mechanical arm.
Discovery Houston, we saw a real good grapple. Greg, you did a great job there. We still have some more AIS commanding to do, however, so we plan on leaving it in the bay, unberthing on time, and waiting until we're in the proper attitude.
Okay, Brian, no problem. We'll wait until you're ready for us and head good teachers.
Discovery now passing over the Soviet Union on a track that should take it close to Moscow. The Volga River now can be seen in this live television from Discovery. The Volga River empties into the Caspian Sea in the Soviet Union.
Discovery Houston, we see good SPAS attitudes and rates. You have a go to unberth when you're ready.
Okay, that's what I've been waiting for. Thanks, Brian. We'll put it in work.
Mechanical Systems Officer reports that the payload retention latch assemblies have been released. SPAS is now being held in the payload bay of Discovery by the remote manipulator arm as the orbiter now passes it right directly over Sydney, Australia on orbit 46. PDRS officer reports that SPA is now being unberthed from the payload bay of Discovery. Payload Deployment and Retrieval Systems Officer reports that the SPAS is in the low hover position on the end of the remote manipulator system arm or robot arm aboard Discovery. Flight Director Bob Castle now polling the room to get a go from all flight controllers for release of the shuttle pallet satellite from the end of the remote manipulator arm.
Discovery Houston, we have good L-Cube TV downlink right now. We'd like you to cycle to the narrow TV and hold and let us look at it for a moment.
Looking at into outer space, from one of the wide field cameras mounted on the infrared background signature survey. As this view of the Southern Cross through that wide field camera.
Discovery Houston.
Go ahead, Brian.
Hey, Mike, we're getting a great downlink. We see the only thing we have left to do is the DAP config, collapsing the deadbands, and once that's done, you are go for release.
Okay, once we get to the DAP, we're go for release.
Flight PRS. Looks released. That's correct flight.
Flight GNC, we are free drift.
Copy.
Flight DPS. Go ahead. We'd like to uplink VPs to GNC for the rendezvous, folks.
Let's wait till after the set burn and then we'll do it.
Okay.
With the successful release of the shuttle pallet satellite from Discovery's robot armed, Discovery's planned 38-hour ballet in space using onboard maneuvering systems is ready to support the Strategic Defense Initiative's infrared background signature survey experiment. Next step is to maneuver Discovery away from the satellite. This is a maneuver to verify the attitude control system of the satellite. Now about 4 minutes away from the separation burn of Discovery. That will be a subtle 2 foot per second posigrade burn. That is an acceleration, which will fire Discovery's reaction control system thrusters and will raise Discovery's orbit about 1 statute mile above the satellite.
And Discovery, you probably saw it. It looked like it overshot just a little bit, corrected back, and is now fine. And you are go for SEP.
And flight rendezvous and
Roger, go for SEP.
10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, set. 2 plus 3, 4, 5.9, 6, 1.6, 1.9, 2.1, 2.14, 2.13 and hold it. 2.2 on the button.
Very nice.
Yes.
Very nice.
It never worked that good to 2.2 on the button.
Well, 2.19.
Attitude hold. It's attitude hold. Okay. Okay, I gotta get
Flight controller power's coming off. Okay.
Okay. A-man burn. Bubble 8 is complete.
Let's go to bubble 9.
Bubble 9.
Ready to start that?
Yeah. Okay, if you get spec 33.
I got him, item 2.
Okay, we are in mid-range. Take a KU to GPC. Can you get it? I got it.
Passive and panel.
KU mode to radar passive and KU control to panel.
Okay, you did the IO reset.
I did.
Okay, so bubble 9 is complete.
Mike, just kick me out of the way if you need to get in here.
We're okay right now.
I'll get the A7 or B7 ready to go here.
Where is that reflection coming from?
Oh, this up front.
No, it's a reflection of the spas off the window.
290 feet on our feet. That's where they want.
KT, that's definitely the orbiter. What you're seeing, the flashing, is me turning the flashlight on and off.
Are you serious?
Yeah, absolutely.
We were just going to ask you to ident.
That's the closest we can do to ident.
This is Mission Control Houston. Discovery is currently moving across the tip of South America, the southern tip, Tierra del Fuego, or as translated, Land of the Fires. This view looks up north of South America.
And KT, just for info, we've got a good visual, or we've got the orbiter in the L3 TV. It doesn't look much like an orbiter, but it's very distinct, big, bright circle.
Flight payload, it's just a reminder for Greg, we need to start in safing.
Instrument safing?
Yes, sir.
Capcom, reminder to Greg, we need instrument safing.
Discovery Houston, we're ready for instrument safing.
Even as you speak, it's in work.
Capcom, orbiter and target states look good on board. Currently, they're go for deploy.
Discovery Houston, the state vectors look good. You have a go for deploy.
3, 2, 1, mark. There it goes.
Okay, Marcia, and Crossy is away.
This is Mission Control Houston. Discovery continues trailing the shuttle pallet satellite by about 7 miles. Currently we're about 9 minutes away from another scheduled burn. That's an engine firing that will be a slight height adjustment to ensure that Discovery maintains the exact same altitude and orbit as the shuttle pallet satellite.
Discovery Houston, just a heads up for you. In 2 minutes, we're going to AOS, IOS before we LOS Tidris East. Then we'll LOS at IOS for 11 minutes till we AOS Tidris West at 1336. Call you before we leave.
Okay, Marcia, that makes perfect sense to me.
GPC? GPC.
No, it's not.
It's going out.
That's right. It should.
40 plus 12 is in there.
40 plus 12, right?
Boy, look at this.
Great. Until 310, and do the delay start.
Yaw right. Positive 1.0 degrees.
Positive 1.0 yaw. Here
That's correct.
Like it did it. Looks like it did it.
Yeah, it's dead on. It's right on the center line. It's about.
It's going to be low.
Yeah, it's
like
going to be low.
Because it was late getting in.
Yeah.
Can you grin on camera?
Guy, here's a great.
27.
Great.
Looks like the yaw is going to be zero.
Okay, it's going to be yeah, essentially 0.
1 mark.
Wow.
Whoa.
What you got?
Hey, we're taking data.
It's like all the air was in.
Go ahead.
Yaw minus exactly a degree.
Minus 1 degree.
Flight prop cut off, good burn. Flight Fido, the OMS engines trimmed very well. Fantastic. GNC? Go. Rendezvous.
Flight Rendezvous, it looks like you loaded the OP5 TIG. We'd like a confirmation on the burn TIG.
Capcom.
Discovery Houston, looks like you've loaded the OP5 TIG. We'd like you to check for OP4.
Okay, Marcia, we caught it. Thanks. Fido, you go for the burn? Fido's go. FAO?
Go.
Payloads?
Wait, we're waiting for the IR delay. Other than that, we'll go.
All right. Rendezvous, I'm going to stand by for your final go.
Copy, Flight. Flight Rendezvous, go for the burn.
Okay. Capcom, we'll go for the burn.
Discovery Houston, your go for the burn.
In the daytime, the one thing you could do is make out the orbiter shape more clearly.
Son of a gun, it does look like an orbiter.
And here's the fine pointing correction. When Lacey would see the orbiter come into the field of view, he'd call out a correction for Greg to make in yaw. And so that's the correction driving it to the center line.
This is Mission Control Houston. We're now receiving live television from Discovery. In the upper left corner of the screen is the Amur River, the border between the Soviet Union and China. Discovery is now passing over China.
And the release of the nitrogen tetroxide from the canister.
Video of that?
Yeah, we sure do. What a release.
Radar's broke lock.
Just leave it inhibited. I think it's
Yes, there it is.
It's going to break lock at 300 feet
There
anyway.
it is.
Your filter's going to be different.
Where did you get it?
Now. If it comes in, he gets the data back there. There's no sense in
Did its thing?
Yeah. He's watching the data back there.
Very neat. Okay, number 2.
Greg, plan on your activities after the burn. You can do the RMS power up and also do the pre-deploy steps 1 through 5. We'll then deploy the Crow. After that, you can pick back up in the pre-deploy. You go steps 6 through 15, and then press on to the spots grappled per the timeline.
Okay, Brian, we'll do the RMS power up, and then pre-deploy steps 1 through 5, the Crow deploy, and then the rest of the pre-deploy.
That's a good copy.
And in this television from Discovery, it's reaction control system jets, the small steering jets that keep it at the proper orientation while it's in orbit, can be seen firing. It's currently in an automatic system that the orientation is set into the computers, and then the jets fire automatically to keep Discovery pointed the proper way.
Sorry, keep taking. Here it goes, right now.
Yeah, it's on. I'm losing it. Oh, I lost it. I couldn't get it.
Deployed at about 4:15. Deploy was at 4 days, 6 hours, 30 minutes, and 15 seconds, KJ.
Got that, Rick. Discovery Houston, we're enjoying the downlink, but we need for you to go back to rendezvous radar.
Okay, we'll work it.
The final stages of a rendezvous is very delicate work where crew members on board Discovery will do minor tweaks to slowly close in and position Discovery and its remote manipulator arm for the final grapple of the Pallet satellite.
Houston Discovery, we put figure for comm. You have downlink if you'd like.
Thanks. We'll take it.
65 feet minus 0.3, Mike. And we don't have any low Z, right?
No low Z capability, that's right. 6 to 8 feet high.
So we have the potential to plummet.
We plummeted from 600 feet away. This was Rick.
Pretty sure it's still high.
ABA 60 feet minus 0.27.
Maybe you saw that high. Oh yeah, you ought to be coming in any minute. There it is. There it is. Okay, put that on top. 1,000, okay.
Okay, you've got minus 0.21, minus 0.18. You got 55 feet and minus 0.11. 54 feet, minus 0.1. 54 feet.
This is Mission Control Houston. Mission Specialist Rick Heeb is in the process of lining up the end effector with the grapple fixture, now seen in the center of the screen. This view is courtesy of the wrist cameras on board the end effector.
You're over the pin. A little more. You're about a third of the way down. A little bit more. A little bit more. Okay, you got it. Yeah!
Jets disable. A and B to A11, B11.
Oh well.
A11, B11.
That's okay.
A11, B11.
Flight payloads, the crew's supposed to be in free drift for the procedure in step 4. We need DAP A man burn.
Capcom, reminder, free drift for the release.
Discovery Houston, just a reminder for free drift for the release, please.
This is Mission Control Houston. We're now receiving a recorded downlink from the Space Shuttle Discovery of the release of the unsymmetric dimethylhydrazine that was on board the chemical release observation canister B.
Okay, Discovery, we're with you in the flight deck.
Welcome aboard.
Thanks.
So, Captain, cut the warp drive. We've got to change the dilithium crystals.
Cut the warp drive for a minute.
Put back the impulse power.
Discovery, Captain 10's coming down for loud change-up.
Okay. You have A or B?
I got them both.
No. Oh yeah, I have them both. Let's see now. Which goes where?
24 goes in the right in A and 25 in B. You don't get 24 in A and 25 in B. It's not going to work.
No, that's right. Hey,
They're directional flow loud
right. These are polarized canisters.
Oh no.
We'd be mixing antimatter and antimatter. You know what would happen then.
You have twice as much. Okay, turn on the warp drive.
Warp drive on.
Engage.
The next step, once the arm has maneuvered SPAs to the proper position, will be to align the infrared sensors on the platform
Hey, Rick, we're getting a good picture down now. Looks like there's some pretty good-sized storms off the coast of Africa.
Yeah, you know, I can tell that you're right. Looking out the window, now that you mention it, there's some big thunderstorms out there. I've been too busy looking at the procedure to gawk here.
Okay, gotta stop and smell the roses.
And we're now taking views from the low light level cameras aboard the infrared background signature survey. This in support of the next target of opportunity for that payload.
They call this PCM data going to the tape recorders and speech info. So here I'm going to go to the land viewing position of the arm and untie this one.
Hey, Lacey? Somebody tell him what he's up to. Can you talk to him, Mike, or somebody?
You want to tell him?
Always tell them that that's the vacuum in the picture. They won't know that.
Cutting off.
Okay, go ahead.
I trust you.
You do?
Okay.
You move your hand at all up that way.
Good.
So
I'll scale up. Let's do it one more time. Ready? Now. Zero low. Okay. Great. Good continuity. Well, we made a decent splice. Good job. The test will be 24 hours of ops. That would.
Hey, the continuity test was good?
Yes.
Discovery Houston, good news. White Sands has bit sync on the signal. You're a go to proceed.
Roger, we'll proceed.
Good work, guys.
And these lights are from Florida, with Tampa located on the west coast of the Florida Peninsula, and Miami. And the Kennedy Space Center located on the right here with this nighttime view of Florida from Discovery.
And Discovery Houston for Greg, your go ahead and look at the AIS before you do the direct drive test.
Okay, Jan, I'll do that.
And your go to berth the spas.
Okay, it's in work.
We're rubbing against the front big eye on this side.
I get a little bit of negative yaw coming in there. That's what's happening.
now here's kind of a problem here.
Let's see. What do you zoom in on that?
So dry that they don't want to stick to my hand. So they want to do that.
That should stick to your hand with. Couldn't you put a fluid, a little drop of your saline fluid on there to wet them up a little bit before you?
Yeah, but what happens is the cleaner dries them kind of.
Oh.
And I don't want a big sloppy mess in my hand either. Oops.
There it goes. Well, that was good to get on film.
Uh-oh. Where'd the contact go?
Oh no.
Okay, that, okay, I think that's fine for you. I'm showing 950.
There you got 950.
And Houston Discovery for the RMS folks. You might note that the ROU seems to hesitate there sort of in mid-stride. We saw that earlier on the last time we made it as well.
Yeah.
You find it, Liz?
From the pack. Yeah.
Holy cow.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Discovery Houston, we're watching your water dumps. A great show.
We agree, Marcia. We've seen some pretty spectacular water dumps when we get in a position where we have the moon to the west and the sun just coming up in the east, and we do a water dump. We get the shadow of the orbiter crossing the dump, and it looks like a shower of snow with the moon in the background.
We're looking from camera alpha out over the orbiter's tail, and basically everything you see out there are oil well fires, all the light spots. I was trying different things with stretch and whatnot, trying to make the scene a little bit clearer. Well, like you're saying, some of those are cities, but truthfully, comparing when you're looking out the window versus the TV, the oil well fires are so bright that the cities hardly showed up.
That is incredible.
Yeah, we're curious what it looks like down there to you. It's kind of blooming on our monitor, so we're not sure what you see.
Yeah, it's blooming down here also, but you get the picture all right.
Very easy to see that they're fires. I mean, they're red from orbit, just like you expect a fire to be, and very bright, and there's no question. You know, when somebody on the other shift told us about it, I wasn't quite sure how I'd know when I was seeing the right thing, but the first time we saw it, we knew absolutely what we were looking at.
This is the ALFI, which is the Advanced Liquid Feed Experiment. ALFI studies the zero-gravity performance of tanks and liquid collection systems and evaluates propellant management system components under the spaceflight environment. ALFI is part of Space Test Program 1. There are 5 payloads associated with STP-1, all of which ride in Discovery's payload bay.
Okay, Kathy, a lot of children ask me when I'm out talking at schools, how do you prepare food in space? And how do you eat and so forth? I think the first thing to notice is that everything takes about twice as long up here to get accomplished, whether it's preparing food and eating a meal or washing yourself up or going to the bathroom or going to sleep or whatever. It just seems like everything takes twice as long because you have to move kind of slowly up here. What we do is the food comes in several different packets. Some of it comes in pouches, just like this, and we'll stick it. Close up the oven. And it's a convection oven, so the air is being forced through there to make the food hot, and it works quite well. As I said, most of the food is dehydrated, and we have to add water to make it work again. You'll notice that all the food packets and all the drink containers have little tabs of Velcro. If they didn't have those Velcro on there, there'd be no place to stick them, and they'd float off, as they frequently do anyway. So we use the tabs of Velcro to hold them in place. As you can see, preparing the food and then cleaning up afterwards takes an awful long time. And it's roughly twice as long as it takes down there. But I notice everybody's eating pretty well up here, so it must be worth the effort.
Oh, hey, I guess we can see it.
That's great.
This is a...
We're all saying wow in here. We missed it real time.
And all Blaine saw was a green glow? You need to talk to him about that.
Well, you know, he did have his sleep goggles on at the time. Didn't we see that scene in Raiders of the Lost Ark?
Yeah, you did. There are no snakes up there, are there?
So basically the problem we're looking at, guys, is we believe, a KSC opportunity today without an Edwards opportunity today. Tomorrow we have probably not a KSC opportunity, but perhaps an Edwards opportunity, and that is a perhaps, and tomorrow is come home day, no matter what. So given those options, if KSC is holding in today, and we're happy with our observed and our forecast, I am willing to make the recommendation that we ought to go ahead and go to KSC today.
And I don't want to scare the Air Force guys, but your signals, Charlie, you do have a go for the deorbit burn.
Roger that.
Flight, Fido.
Good, Fido.
All right, also reports the TACAN, Miss Bliss, and nav aids are all working,
Okay.
and convoy has got a call to stations.
Okay, thanks.
"30 seconds from touchdown." Landing gear now down and locked. Main gear touchdown. Nose gear touchdown. Discovery rolling out on runway 15 at the Kennedy Space Center's shuttle landing facility, completing Discovery's 12th mission, 40th since the shuttle began flying 10 years ago. Discovery back at the Kennedy Space Center after traveling 3,475,000 miles.
Houston Discovery, we'll stop.
Roger, Discovery, welcome back to sunny Florida, and congratulations on an outstanding mission.
Okay, coming around the room for post-landing deltas, prop.
No deltas.
Ecom.
No deltas.
Thank everybody there.
Eagle.
Worked so hard to pull this one off.
Eagle post-landing deltas.
We sure will.
DPS.
And, stand by, we'll have post-landing deltas
Inco
shortly.
post-landing deltas.
Negative flight 1. Discovery, your go for Ventor purge positioning.
Roger.
And the crew of Discovery now coming down the steps. Commander Mike Coates, pilot Blaine Hammond, mission specialist Specialist Greg Beach, Greg Harbaugh, Guy Bluford, Don McMonigal, and Lacey Beach. Crew back on the ground after a 3.5 million mile journey aboard Discovery.